at 50. Hey Billy,
Hey, hey,
how you doing?
I'm pretty good. We're back with Mostly Wizard, episode 19.
Episode 19, Nick and Billy's Mostly Wizard. It is the end of February, and we are well in swing of 2026. Um, so we got to see the first episode of the Monster Universe, Monarch, Legacy of Monsters. I've been looking forward to this for a long time. I mean, like a show that has a legacy family in it, Kurt Russell and his son Wyatt in it. I find that just a niche there that like kind of, a lot of people just don't really talk about, but that's one of the things that, definitely drew me in. I mean, besides the fact that it's about, the Godzilla King Kong monsterverse. Um, but yeah, season one was, I thought, pretty good. It filled in this lore that was just, you know, it needed to be filled in. And I think it's been what, 2 years,
18
1 year,
months-ish. Yeah.
something like that. I don't know. But yeah, it's back, and I thoroughly love the first episode. I love the way this is starting to go and how they're setting up for the future. Well, just setting up because it takes place before the 2019 Godzilla King of Monsters. With
Right.
King
Okay.
Ghidorah.
That was
Um,
one thing that I had a little trouble like remembering back to
mhm,
watching the first episode or season two, episode one. Um,
mhm.
yeah. They could have done a
Yeah.
better job of like re-establishing that.
Yeah, because it was like the first season took place in like 2015, and then several years over the 1950s. And then at the end of the season, they rescue Kikyo, Keiko.
Kaiko, yeah.
Yeah,
Keiko, yeah.
they
Keiko.
rescue her, Shaw and, well, they not Shaw, but May and Kate from
Mhm.
the Axis Moon Day, and 2 years had passed on the surface when only a week or something like that had passed in the Axis
Right.
Mundi. So it was in 2015. Now we're in 2017. Godzilla King of the Monsters takes place in 2019. Godzilla versus King Kong, I guess, is in 2021 or
Yeah.
2022.
2021.
Um, and then you're gonna have what's it called? Is it Godzilla Supernova? I think that's the new one coming up here.
I had
Godzilla
not heard about that
Supernova.
yet.
Yeah, so the big speculation is who's the big bad. Like, everyone thought, and it is confirmed it's going to be Space Godzilla. But
Oh, wow.
but apparently, of course, there's a bigger big bad that just hasn't been revealed. So that's going to be interesting. And what I've kind of been looking at is just, how are these from the show to the movies? Are there little tidbits that, like, coincide, or like, oh, okay, so at this point, something went into space, so that must have made Space Godzilla or something like that, or this
Right.
happened, and this is how, um, you know, they were able to find these hollow earth portals and stuff like that. Um, but but yeah, man, it's cool. I think this is the, like, in my opinion, growing up, Godzilla, the Shonin um ones, were, I loved watching those. I mean, even though they were made like 30 or 40 years from when I was watching them in the 90s.
Yeah.
Those were always super fun to watch. I remember always watching those on, I think it was like AMC or something like that. They used to always play them on certain times of the
EMC.
year. Yeah, something like that. But yeah, those it was dope. You can go to Blockbuster and you rent a Godzilla one you hadn't seen, because there was a bunch of them. So
All right.
I always enjoyed that universe, and I thought that them expanding on this was just a very good idea, and I've loved how Monarch does, in my opinion, a whole lot better at a lot of things than the movies have. Because I don't know if you remember, if going from King of the Monsters, where technology was relatively like within the realm of possibility
Mhm.
to uh, Godzilla versus King Kong, where you've got like Mecha Godzilla that is
Right.
somehow they've got these robots that can do all this stuff. I understand that like the source of power was able to give it a whole lot more, but like still they were able to build this thing. And then you have like oh no, you know what? There was Godzilla, King Kong, New Empire. That's when they go into the Hollow Earth because Godzilla,
Yeah, the latest
Godzilla versus King
one,
Kong. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah, that's where
But
they
I was
kind of
gonna say,
jumped the shark a little bit.
right, yeah, and it's like they got these flying, vehicles that are like
Yeah.
anti-gravity and shit like that. It's still cool. I like it.
Yeah, it was
It's
entertaining.
enjoyable, but it's just like, what's the backstory? How do they get to this point? And that's what I like about Monarch series. It's kind of filling in, where, all this is coming from and stuff like that. So I think this is a good way to do it, like with
Hell
movies and
yeah.
stuff, movies and stuff like that, where they can't really, fit all that information into like a 2.5 hour long movie. You can go and, support it afterwards or beforehand, with a show that's like, given the backstory.
Yeah, dude,
Um,
it's like just like what we've talked about before with like Star Wars, the prequel movies weren't the best, but then the Clone Wars animated series like totally fleshed that out and like made it awesome, like made Anakin's arc and like the introduction of Ahsoka and all that, like just totally fleshed that out. So like that is kind of how I view Monarch is the Clone Wars to the prequels that yeah, yeah, you know what I'm saying.
yeah,
Monarch
yeah.
is yeah, as to the
The
prequels
filler.
as
It's the filler.
yeah, the backstory
Yeah, yeah,
and
yeah.
really the meat of the story. So it's cool to see it all get filled in and yeah, the recap of season one during the season two premiere was really cool. Just I forgot a lot of the things that had happened. It makes me want to rewatch the season one. And yeah, I need to rewatch this first episode again because as we were talking about before, I think I fell asleep midway through at some point because I kind of missed the ending. Apparently, I had said to you, Nick, that like I didn't think a lot happened, and you kind of filled me in that a lot did actually happen towards the end of the episode, and yeah, that's what happens on Thursday nights. Sometimes I fall asleep a little early. But yeah, I'm looking forward to rewatching the episode and getting into the rest of this season. From the trailer for this season two of Monarch, it looks like we're getting a lot of monsters and like a lot of King Kong and Godzilla. And that's one thing that I'm like curious how they're gonna handle that. Like, you reminded me that this is 2018 or 15 or whatever, 17 now in the universe. But King Kong and Godzilla hadn't worked together until 2021. So, like, where's that coming from? If we're going to see that in this show, in this season, how are they going to weave that in?
hmm hmm Um, so yeah, I was kind of interested, when we got introduced to what's her name? I can't remember the little girl's name. I can't remember her tribe's name either from the island.
Oh, the deaf girl?
Yeah, the Kiwis or something like that.
I
But
I,
like
I haven't watched the movies. Yeah, I need to brush up.
but like there it like started off, Godzilla, uh King Kong, the tribe is still there and everything like that, but Godzilla has been isolated on this island. And for what we like when we first saw the movie, it seemed like, okay, so we had Godzilla's Skull Island, and they know Godzilla's there, but then they don't. There's nothing there, and then all of a sudden you have this movie with the next
Right.
introduction of Godzilla, and all of a sudden there's like a Monarch, or no, I guess it's a Monarch or an Apex cybernetic or cybernetics facility there, and they're monitoring Godzilla, and it's like, okay, so how did this happen where all of a sudden they've got a facility here. There was no backstory to the movie, and then
Right.
like which I think we're going to see too again is maybe in the upcoming seasons or something like that. uh I think it was the Godzilla King Kong New Empire, where the apparently that tribe gets like wiped out, and Godzilla or Kong is like there's that hurricane that's around the island, apparently like engulfs the island, destroys the tribe or something like that. But there's no backstory to it. There's no backstory or anything like that. There's a huge dome over Godzilla, or not Godzilla,
Yeah.
King Kong. And it's like, well,
Yeah.
how the
Yeah.
fuck did that get there? You know what I mean? Like, so I think we're gonna get like a backstory to that with this
Yeah.
show, like in like a later season or something like that. But um,
Be a cool thing
I
to build up to.
well, I mean, like, I mean, they got to, because the only other thing you have is like, I guess, like the comics or something like that. But it's just like, come on, we want something live action, and I think that one of the great things that the show does is it doesn't leave out any, um, like if you're looking at the movies and then you look at the show's like portrayal and just filmography or cinematography, it's on the level of the
Yeah,
movies.
dude.
It's like you're not
It's
getting a
so.
down, you're not getting like a down quality.
Yeah, they're not spare. As Jurassic Park would put it, they spare no expense.
Right, right, right.
Um,
But
yeah, man. I thought it was cool. Yeah, I think the new like I said, I didn't see the end of this episode, but like the new like crustacean, like mollusk looking weird things, those
tentacle
are
monster.
like really interesting. I don't love like when they get too wackadoodle with the monsters, but I am looking forward to seeing um some new kaiju, new monsters. Is there anything that stuck out to you? Like there's that like Titan X that they were flashing back to or whatever.
Well, isn't the Titan X is that from my understanding, and this is what I thought, the Titan X, which is like that one Latin South American towns
Yeah, yeah.
get God, um, is just like the big version of those smaller crustacean
But
looking
we haven't
beasts.
seen it yet.
No, you do at the very end, because you
Okay.
sort
I
of, yeah,
haven't
like not
seen it.
yeah, not in full like view, but you get to see like parts of it and stuff.
Gotcha.
So, but I mean, if you just look at those little ones, I mean, they kind of seem like they're just, that thing is just a big version of it.
Cool. Well, I'm
Uh,
looking forward to yeah, rewatching this episode and like
rewatching.
and next episode, like because like that those little things are like creepy and yeah, like yeah, we had in junior high or middle school, whatever, we had one of those mollusk things as a fossil, and I always thought that was really interesting. So to see that be turned into a big monster, I'm psyched.
Yeah, those I forgot what they're called, but they're like the oldest like fossils or something
Yeah,
like that.
yeah.
I forgot what they're called. But yeah, I know. I mean, these I was kind of interested in to see a little bit more of. So Bill, Lee, and Keiko. I wish I could know her name,
Just
but
go with it. It's
yeah,
fine.
yeah. They start off not the episode when you first see them, though. They're going to this South American town, which I looked up as in Chile, but
What's it called, Nick?
the town
Okay,
is it's something Soledad. I'll tell you that.
okay, okay.
But I wish they would kind of explain like how they got, put onto that path, to get there. Maybe that was what their little banter on the boat was on, because I didn't hear anything about that. But either way though, when they were getting to the town, they see the little altar in the middle of the town that almost
Hmm.
looks like a sacrificing altar. But they're in the bar and everything like that, the vibes I was getting was just straight up like Resident Evil 4, where I don't know if you've ever played the game, and it's literally just you know the main character goes to a town, a village that's like a cult, and the whole village is like in on it, but like they're all zombies and shit like that. But still, that's kind of like how I felt like the vibe is just
Yeah.
they're in this cult town, and later revealed that the little crustacean that they had on the wall, that they got all upset for trying to take a picture of, is actually like their god, which you get to see in towards the end where they don't go into, but they open up the portal for Shaw, and you see Shaw on the Axis Mundi, and he's running through the forest because he just had that encounter with the forest boar, and you see behind him
Forest
all the little
Boar.
crustaceans.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That thing was
the
gnarly, man.
and all the little crustaceans are like running towards the portal, and you see like the big Titan X come out of like a little hill or mountain or something like that, and
Okay.
it's clearly like the big version of it, sort of thing, and it goes through the portal. But I thought that was cool. But I kind of wanted to hear a little bit more, which I guess like the next episode is gonna be talking about this like town and why they worship this Titan and shit like that. And
Hmm.
I think that's a interesting aspect to touch on, just like you know I can see it, cultures and shit like that, but you have a town that's like modern, and well, somewhat modern, it's still in like the 50s, and they're like, worshiping this Titan as like, their god. And then why was it in the Axis Mundi, or was it trapped there? How does that work? Sort of a
Right.
thing. I think that's all cool aspects that I'm interested to see where they take this.
Yeah, dude. I'm glad this show's back. Love the cast. Like you said, I love the the nepotistic actor combo. Like not nepotistic in a bad way, but like, father son duo.
Hmm.
And I love I think her last name is Sawai. I can't remember her first name, but the actress that plays the younger Asian woman in the show, she is just so awesome. Love her as an actress. Love her in Shogun also. So yeah, and yeah, well, I won't give a spoiler for Shogun, but I mixed something up about her season one ending in Shogun with season one ending in Monarch, and I'm so glad that what happened in Shogun did not happen in Monarch because she's back for season two. I probably just spoiled Shogun, but anyway, um, yeah, I really love this show, so love seeing them all back, and looking forward to the rest of the show or rest of the season.
Well, they, I'm interested to see, kind of just, I want them to do some backstory as to, because this is what I was looking up before we started talking here earlier, was in Godzilla King of the Monsters, are there anybody or the first Godzilla movie, is there anybody in those two movies that are in the show? And I was like, okay, the uh main scientist guy, he's that's not any of them or anything like that. Lee Shaw's not any of that. The only time I that I can find is anybody connecting any of these movie, like from the show to the movies, is Bill Randa. Um, in Skull Island, he's
Hmm.
John Goodman,
Right.
and that's it. Like they don't really touch on any of the movies, where these characters' backstories come from, which is kind of what I want to see. is okay because like a lot of these movies, you're jumped in, you get jumped in here like what is it? Godzilla King of the Monsters. All of a sudden, they have some sort of machine that can like talk to, you know, the Titans, and it's like, okay, well, where did that come from? Like,
Yeah,
what's the
well, we're
backstory on that?
seeing the
And
yeah, that's what we are seeing in Monarch. Like that's what we're seeing the buildup of. And that's like what
mhm.
you're kind of talking about with the like people backstory. I am kind of less interested in that. That's always been the thing. Like I'm satisfied with the level of like background that we're getting now. Like I just want to know a little bit of Bill, a little bit of the, Lee's character and all that stuff. I love all that, but like if they start getting too far into the background and like being like, oh, that character was actually this character, like I'm not gonna dig that then. Like that's gonna get too
Well,
like, mm,
okay, look, hear me out. All right, so
could be.
part
Oh
of
wait, because to end my point, I forgot the end point. Because the argument of kaiju movies for the longest time has always been like, who cares about the people's story? It's all just give me the action. So like you
true.
can't give too much people. You're gonna
I
get,
Yeah,
I don't
you're
know.
right. It's 100% right. Like, dude, no, I mean, like the point of that argument, which is true, is if you go and you look at the old Godzilla shonen universe, and you look through all of how it all plays out. A part of that is the backstory of okay, so there's aliens involved. There's astronauts involved. There's a whole lot of stuff involved that like brings these titans. It's not like they're just the titans just show up and stuff like that. It's like people do something or these aliens come down, or something like that, and they're interacting and causing this the titans to fight and stuff like that. And to me, when I was a kid, I didn't care about all that. All I cared about was the fights. Now I'm like, okay, well, I want a little bit more fulfilled, universe a little bit where I'm going to hear some backstory and like, how all this is like tying together. I mean, I guess it's like, kind of an OCD. Like I want everything to like tie together a little bit, but that was probably my qualms that I had with the movies is that they never had any kind of big backstory, and I wanted to see like how this all got to here and stuff like that. But I
Yeah, I
liked
don't know.
you know when 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 I watched John Goodman's character on Kong Skull Island, I was like, who is this dude? Like, what is he doing? Like,
Right, yeah.
okay, like like, but then like they came and his character, uh,
I love that they're bringing back his like connected character in this show. Like that was the best part of or one of the best parts of season 1 for
mhm.
sure. Like to because I didn't actually know that at first, and I was actually rewatching Skull Island. Heavy spoilers, re breakdown or breakdown of Skull Island, and he brought up the connection to that, and I was like, oh crap, that makes this show way better. So
Hmm. Hmm.
what
Yeah, I
else
would
you got,
like to
Nick?
see. Um,
We got, just so you know, we're gonna wrap up this segment of the show in the next 5 minutes. We're gonna have to start a
uh,
new recording. So
well, I mean, if you want me to give my opinion on what I want to see with the future of
well, yeah,
any of the
let's just
movies or
let's.
franchise,
You got 5 minutes to wrap it
well,
up on Godzilla Monarch
well,
universe.
I would like. Well, I guess you can't. Monarch's not going to really touch on this because it's taking place before Rodan appears because he appears in 2019. But a big part of the old Godzilla was, Rodan was Godzilla's boy. I mean, it was like Godzilla was Batman, Rodan was his Robin. I for future the future movies, I understand that it's a buddy cop or movie between Kong and Godzilla, which is great. I want to see that. It's fucking cool. But I also
We've
want to see
saw
Rodan in there, because they yeah
we've
because
seen it
they
twice.
brought
So
No, Rodan was in just the King of the Monsters.
No, no, no. I'm saying we've already seen the buddy cop thing twice, so let's see something else.
Oh, but well, they're. Yeah, I'm gonna be completely honest with you. That's what it's gonna be a buddy cop again for Supernova.
But you're
But
missing what I'm saying.
they,
Oh, for okay, yeah, yeah,
yeah.
yeah. I see what you're saying.
But they had so the other part of that duo was the trio, which was Mothra, who because it was Mothra, Rodan, and Godzilla were always team up to like fight the big bad. And King Kong was kind of his own enemy. There was only very few times that King Kong and Godzilla actually, ever teamed up. Now it's a bit more, which is a bit cooler, but I still they brought Mothra in to help Godzilla a lot in the the past movies here. I would like to see, like I said, Rodan. He was, Godzilla's boy. I think that's something I would love to see, but it's not going to happen in the Monarch series. Monarch series is going to be. I think they're going to touch on finding those Hollow Earth entrances because they've touching on this Access Mundi stuff, and they're gonna explore that a little bit more. With the movies, it's all of a sudden they have these entrances to the Hollow Earth. I think they're gonna tell us a little bit more with the Monarch series about those
I like it. I'm just looking up pictures
down the
of
road.
some of these monsters. Um, Let me do a little quick screen share, see if that works here. Look at this. Look at them. They look so freaking cool.
Yeah, that's
Mothra, Rodan, and what's the middle one? Got Ghidorah or
King Ghidorah.
Ghidorah, yeah.
King
So
Ghidorah.
dope. All right, Nick. Well, I think that does it for this review, I guess, of season two, episode one of Monarch King of Monsters. We'll come back for next week. Let's do next week and we'll do a longer episode and we'll get into
Hmm.
some of that
Yeah,
Marvel and DC news. Well, there's not too much DC news. A little bit of Star Wars news, some Marvel news, stuff like that. We'll do a full
yeah.
on podcast then. Uh, but yeah, I think this was a pretty good, solid episode for today. You got
Yeah,
anything
I want
else
to
to
watch.
say, Nick?
What is that? Now, what's that movie with Ryan Gosling? What's that movie with
Oh,
Ryan Gosling
Project
that's
Hail
coming out?
Mary. Yeah, that comes out in a couple weeks. I downloaded that on Audible, and I'm gonna try to listen to it actually this weekend. The whole book,
Hmm.
because I gotta fall in love with this movie. I know I'm going to, and I kind of want to read the book first. Like I would leave. What do you think, viewers? Do you read the book first and then watch the movie, or watch the movie and then read the book? There's benefits to both ways. This movie, Project Hail Mary, I want to read the book first. I've made a decision. What do you think, Nick? You
I
ever
can
done
agree with
that?
that. I mean, I mean, I I think I've always read the book second. I mean, I remember watching Jurassic Park and then reading the book, and the book was just significantly. But I did read Lost World first before I watched that movie,
Well,
and I it they're not going to be able to touch us on everything, and if you're gonna get disappointed because not everything's from the book. I mean, watch the
uh,
movie first, but I find I'm more immersed into the scene when I'm watching the movie, so it really it doesn't bother me that much. But at the same time, if you talk to somebody who's read like Lord of the Ring books, before watching the movie, they'll be like,
yeah,
well, but
yeah,
I am more immersed from the movie, so it really doesn't matter to me.
yeah, yeah. I just with this one, I think personally, just I think I'm gonna benefit from reading the book first, just because there's a lot of like there's a hard habit. I've heard it's a hard adaptation to make, so like I want to be able to put that lens on it. But all right, that does it for this episode of Mostly Wizard. Don't forget to like and subscribe, all that good stuff down below. Nick, you have a great evening.
Bye, Billy.
Bye.